Welcome to NarrativeNook audio tales where enchanted stories come to life. If you enjoy our stories, please subscribe, like and share to support our channel. Enjoy listening. Once he saw that Nicole had entered the company building, Jared's soft and gentle gaze darkened. Are the export orders from Radiance Commerce settled? Jared asked with a hint of coldness. The permission from customs has been obtained. Everything went smoothly, Max replied respectfully. All right. Export the orders as soon as possible, Jared said with a trace of contempt in his voice. Lawrence wanted to create problems for Jared, so he had sabotaged the contract that Jared was negotiating with Happiness Trading. However, this did not matter to Jared, as he had no problem contacting Radiance Commerce. If they were quick enough, it would give Lawrence a surprise. And as his eyes turned cold, the air around Jared became icy as well. Don't worry, Mr. Johnston. We have already arranged the shipments, Max reassured. He understood they needed to buy time and take control of the situation. The car then gradually drove away, leaving behind a trail of fading smoke. In the meantime, Nicole had already arrived at the office. Ms. Riddle, Lulu greeted with a slight nod as she stood at the office entrance. Rolling her eyes, Nicole said, "Just call me by my name. I'm not used to it." Hee, Lulu chuckled cheekily. This is the company, after all. We still ought to follow the rules. There's no need for that. You don't have to worry about what other people think. Besides, no one would be here to give you a hard time, Nicole said, easing Lulu's concerns. Lulu bit her lips lightly in response to Nicole's insistence. She hesitated before smiling with relief. Okay then. That's the way, Nicole nodded in satisfaction. Then, Lulu pushed the office door open and waited for Nicole to enter before she followed from behind. Harmon Trading has sent the contract over. I've confirmed there are no problems with it, so you can sign here, Lulu reported her work professionally, demonstrating her competence and ease with which she handled her task. Good, Nicole nodded in response while listening to the series of work arrangements. There's also a statement from the third branch company, Lulu said while putting the statement down on the table. Third branch? Dexter? Nicole asked in confusion. Why did Dexter send a statement over? She grabbed the statement, and that was when she found that it was the financial statement of the branch company that Dexter was in charge of. It was the statement for the current month too. However, she wondered why Dexter had sent her the financial statement of their company when it had been operating independently from the headquarters. Nicole, what does this mean? Lulu asked, feeling puzzled by what Dexter had done, as she had a little knowledge as to what was going on within the Riddle family. I'll ask, Nicole sighed and called Dexter. Hi, Nicole. Is there something I can help you with? Dexter answered courteously. Getting straight to the point, Nicole asked, Dexter, I'm calling to ask why a copy of the financial statement of the branch company is sent to my office? Oh, I just thought that I should thank you for your help. The company is running so much better than before. We're not even struggling anymore. So, I just wanted to send you the statement and share the joy, Dexter explained with a smile. Thanks to Nicole, they could finally develop in a positive direction without relying on the headquarters. Dexter, regardless of whether it is for the sake of personal or public gains, I believe I should help you. So, you didn't have to do this, Nicole replied, thinking that Dexter's reasoning was amusing. It's fine. You don't have to be pressured at all. I really just wanted to share the joy. After a few days, Emma and I are going to visit you and express our gratitude, Dexter said with excitement. Although the progress and development of the branch company he was in charge of was miles behind as compared to that of the headquarters, Dexter was now quite confident about its growth. All of this was all thanks to Nicole. If Nicole had not discovered the problems pertaining to the management of the branch company and found a solution for them, Dexter would not have gotten out of the woods so quickly. At that point in time, it was even uncertain if the branch company would have been able to continue supporting itself and survive. Nicole thought they were attributing too much importance on her when she heard that Dexter was coming over to convey their gratitude. She could not help but laugh. Dexter, you don't have to thank me. If they were merely coming over for a visit, Nicole would be happy to have them. However, she would be unable to deal with the pressure if they did show up to personally thank her. You don't have to be so polite to Emma and me. You can treat it as if it's just a family gathering, Dexter said, remaining very adamant. With that, Nicole had no choice but to accept his demand. All right then. I'll just think of it as a family gathering. Well then, that's a deal, Dexter happily agreed. All right. I'll inform Mom and Dad to prepare for your arrival, Nicole promised. Dexter immediately admonished, there's no need for that. We're family, so you don't have to prepare anything. It's all right. We'll be waiting for your arrival, Nicole said. We'll be on time, Dexter replied. After ending the phone call, Nicole shook her head and chuckled, feeling that Dexter was being too polite. However, with the knowledge that Dexter and Emma would come over in mind, Nicole thought of something else. Her eyes automatically darted towards Lulu. Hey, are you dating Spencer? Not expecting Nicole to be so straightforward, Lulu's cheeks instantly flushed, and in embarrassment she said, let's not discuss it during work hours. Lulu just could not believe how the topic had suddenly shifted towards her relationship with Spencer. The work session is done, Nicole shrugged and said with a beam. Lulu hugged the documents tightly on her chest and proceeded to weasel her way out. Yes. I'm done reporting the details of the day to you, so I shall go out first. With that, Lulu whirled around and skedaddled, causing Nicole to chuckle. Lulu's shy. Though, by the looks of Spencer and her, they seemed to be just fine. Besides, Samuel was the one who mentioned June 1st, and the two of them didn't sound like they were having any issues. Perhaps the timing just wasn't right. Putting her mind at ease, Nicole decided to wait for the good news. Perhaps Spencer and Samuel did have their own plans. After perusing the documents on the table, Nicole put her thoughts aside and began working. Before Nicole knew it, it was already lunch break. So, she left the office to grab a bite with Lulu, bumping into Steve along the way. Going out for lunch? Steve asked while looking at the pair who were ready to go out. Yep, Nicole answered. Let's go together then. I have something to tell you, Steve invited. This piqued Nicole's interest, who asked, what's that exactly? Let's talk about it over lunch. It'll go well with lunch, Steve explained and entered the elevator car with Nicole and Lulu. This made Nicole even more curious as she wondered, what would go well with lunch? Maybe it's some good news? Factoring Steve's single-minded character, which focused on nothing but the pursuit of money and generation of profits, Nicole guessed that they had secured a major project. Arriving at the restaurant, they ordered the business lunch set and began their discussion over their meal. Steve, you can spill the beans now, Nicole said. He had been making Nicole guess throughout the whole journey. Now, it was time for him to reveal the answer. Hee hee, Steve chuckled. I heard something has been going on with Damien and Dillian, and you're currently in a terrible fix. Something's going on? Nicole asked in confusion. Indeed, it was a little coincidental that both of their companies were experiencing issues at the same time. Steve shrugged, acting as if he was enjoying the scene. That's right. I heard there were sudden fluctuations in their stock prices. They will suffer significant losses if they can't stabilize the stock prices quickly enough. An inexplicable feeling crossed Nicole's heart at that instant. It was normal for stock prices to fluctuate in most cases, but their sudden emergence of abnormal fluctuations was a rare scenario. As such, if the issue was not a direct result of the company's operational mistakes, it would mean that someone was engaged in sabotaging them with due diligence. The word hacker suddenly crossed Nicole's mind. She began to wear a complex expression on her face as her mind wandered straight to Nolan, who had demonstrated a rather weird behavior along with Lana in the morning. Nicole, what's wrong with you? Steve asked, noticing she was lost in her thoughts. Nicole faked a smile after coming back to her senses and said, Oh, it's nothing. I'm just thinking about something. Oh, all right then. Let's eat. Steve gestured for Nicole to start the meal without asking more questions. After talking about the situation plaguing Damien's and Dillian's companies, Nicole and Steve went on to discuss some of their own company projects. And once the meal was over, they all went back to the headquarters. Nicole, something happened as soon as Rain joined the company. Well, let's see if she still dares to be all cocky next time. Lulu curled her lips with a disgusted look on her face. Nicole raised her eyebrows. She did not remember who Rain was. But judging by how Rain had always been at odds with her, Nicole was quite certain that she was not a well-mannered person. Back to the office, Lulu went to work, while Nicole leaned back against her seat, her eyes darkening. The more she thought about it, the more curious she became. Unable to sit still, Nicole switched her computer on and typed a series of codes in. The computer interface changed thereafter, becoming something other than a regular work computer. Nicole quickly typed away on the keyboard, her fingers racing across it, and in a jiffy, she successively entered both Damien's and Dillian's company systems. Nolan! Nicole exclaimed and shook her head in defeat. As it turned out, all of this was indeed Nolan's doing. To make matters worse, Lana was also aware of it, and had helped him cover it up. The two children had really given her a headache. They were actually bold enough to create a mess for others to deal with. Meanwhile, Dillian's company was filled with a suffocating miasma, the air surrounding it dark and depressive. In the manager's office, Rain's face was pale white, and she was glaring at James in utter discontentment. What on earth is going on? Why did something like this happen as soon as we joined the company? How am I supposed to stay here from this point onwards? It had taken Rain a lot of effort to convince her father to allow her to join the company and help out. Who would have thought that such a thing would happen upon her arrival? Rain was worried that she would be implicated. Calm down. Don't panic. You're just a small manager who just joined the company. This incident has nothing to do with you. However, I think you might as well think of something and help the company solve the problem at hand. That way, your dad would see you in a different light, James said, his words hinting at something implicit. Still feeling a little depressed, Rain said, "Do you think I don't want to?" However, the problem was, Rain was incapable of helping the company. She did not even know what the problem was, let alone how to help. "You might not know, but someone else does," James whispered. "Don't forget you still have Preston." "Preston won't show up to help when it comes to company matters," Rain said. Moreover, if Preston did come over, she would have another rival who would battle her for a chunk of the family inheritance. "We're just asking Preston for a favor, and even if he doesn't work in the company, he's still obligated to help us out," James said, with a calculative smile. "Besides, isn't it a good thing that he isn't here in the company with us?" Rain narrowed her brows, feeling that what James said made sense, and nodded. "All right, I'll call him." After the phone call connected, Rain cut to the chase and said, "Preston, come over to the office at once. There's a problem, and we need you to solve it." "What company problem can I even solve?" Preston asked, reluctant to come over as he did not want to get involved in the company's affair. "You know, it's what you're good at. I think our system has been hacked. You better come and take a look," Rain made an excuse. She knew Preston would only be interested in hacking-related matters, so she was certain that Preston would come over after hearing that. And as expected, Preston agreed. "All right then, I'll go check it out." Rain heaved a sigh of relief after hearing Preston's promise and put the phone away. "He's coming." James' eyes lit up. Preston would always find a way to deal with a problem no matter what happened. Although he did not want to be involved in any issues related to the company, it did not mean that he was clueless about it. Surely, Preston could do the trick. That way, when the problem had been resolved, they could take all the credit for themselves. If Preston did not speak up, no one else would know. "James, how is it that I've never realized you were so scheming before?" Rain raised her eyebrows and asked. Hearing that, James assumed his usual demeanor, retaining his air of calmness and complacency. "Everything I've done, I did it all to help you. If you don't want my help, I won't come next time." "Humph." Rain rolled her eyes at James in frustration. It was rather obvious she needed him right now, so he knew she was not going to let him leave. Seeing Rain's silence, James felt relieved. He had only been listening to Rain because she still had value. After all, he held no power or position in the Harlow family, and still needed to rely on her. Once Rain had inherited the Riddle family, he would then find a way to benefit from it and get the Harlow family in his pocket. Knowing things could be solved, the gloom in Rain's heart cleared a little, and she hummed in triumph. Soon after, Preston arrived at the company and entered Rain's office. "Preston, you're here," Rain greeted. She stood there as she kept her eyes on Preston, and James promptly served him drinks. Looking at the behavior exhibited by the two, Preston coldly said, "Tell me the specifics." "Well, actually." Rain wanted to come clean after seeing that Preston came to the office. However, James beat her to it by saying, "Here's the situation. The company's stock prices experienced sudden abnormal fluctuations. We suspect that it was a hacker's doing. The technical department could not fix it, so we've asked you to help us. Take a look." Rain narrowed her brows, thinking that James should not explain it this way, as it would only delay the process. James, on the other hand, shook his head. If Preston knew they were lying to him, there was a huge possibility that he would leave at that instant and not bother to help them out in the foreseeable future. Judging by the discrepancy in their tones, Preston decided not to deal with them any longer. He simply switched his computer on and began his work. The sun was shining bright and high in the evening. A special guest arrived at Nicole's office there, and then, with her eyes on Preston, Nicole began to feel a little conflicted. She knew he was the one who recognized her during the hacker competition. Other than that, she also knew that Preston was Dillian's son. Whatever Nolan did, none of it had escaped Preston's notice, even if others did not know anything about it. After all, he was a hacker too. Besides, his sudden appearance at Nicole's office had rendered her unable to figure out his intentions. "Nicole? Please don't freak out. I know you don't remember me. I came here with no other intentions. I'm just here to remind your kid to behave. His skills have not reached the level where his activities can go unnoticed," Preston gently explained. Understanding that Nicole had lost her memory and would have concerns about his abrupt appearance, Preston tried to be as calm and gentle as possible. Raising her eyebrow by a little, Nicole was surprised to learn that Preston knew about her amnesia. Aside from a few trusted individuals, Nicole had never told anyone else about her condition, not even Lulu and June. Noticing Nicole's look of surprise, Preston told her about the day when she was found and how he was the one who had tipped Jared off in their efforts to find her. Nicole's guard lowered after knowing Preston had such connections with Jared. She believed the people Jared was willing to stay in contact with must be different from the likes of Damien and Dillian. Hearing his explanation, Nicole's expression eased a little, and she asked calmly, "In that case, why are you here today?" Nicole could tell that Preston was giving her a show of goodwill with no intentions of wanting to be on her bad side. But if that was the case, Nicole could not understand his reason for exposing Nolan's actions today. Preston shook his head for a bit. "Would you believe me if I say I am here purely to see you?" He was the first to know of her return, yet he never had the chance to meet her. Initially, Preston had discovered that the abnormal fluctuations in his company's stock prices were a hacker's doing. However, his emotions were mixed after he had tracked the location of the IP address. Preston knew Nicole would never do such a thing, but the IP address was clearly leading back to her. After careful analysis, he had managed to identify that this was not Nicole's usual method of hacking. If anything, the method employed was rather juvenile, which led him to think of Nolan. That was the reason for his visit, to meet and remind her of it. Nolan's behavior was inappropriate and easy to catch, and because of this, he might create a lot of trouble for everyone involved in the future. Remaining silent, Nicole did not issue a response to Preston. Instead, she quietly looked at him. While she understood he had come in peace, she still felt uncomfortable with the fact that he was just here to visit her. "All right then, I'll take my leave first," Preston said with a hint of regret, bidding farewell to her with a hint of resignation. "Aha, all right," Nicole responded blandly. Preston then got up and shot her one last glance at Nicole before leaving. "About Nolan, I've taken care of the matter. No one will find out, and I won't tell anyone." Preston was well aware of Nicole's situation. She had lost her memories, and therefore, she would be wary of anyone and anything she considered unfamiliar around her. As for Nolan and Lana, she had not introduced them to the public, seemingly wanting to protect them. Thus, he decided to cooperate with her and take a fraction of the load off her shoulders. Hearing Preston's promise, Nicole bit her lips, after which she hesitated before saying, "I'm sorry, but Nicole realized that Preston was not going to harm her, but without her memories of him or anyone else in place, Nicole did not know how to get along with him. Deep down, it made her feel a little uncomfortable. "It's fine. I got you." Preston smiled warmly, able to read what she was trying to say. "It's great to have you back. We have a long time ahead. I'm sure you'll remember us and return to your former life." "Thank you for handling Nolan's situation," Nicole expressed her gratitude. As Preston had settled the fallout of the issue, Nicole knew no one would find out about it anymore. "You're welcome. Though I must say, that kid really does take after you," Preston exclaimed. He genuinely believed that Nolan's future achievements would be no less than Nicole's. Hearing this, Nicole flashed him a wry smile. "I've never expected him to display his talent in this area at such a young age." "It's fine as long as he likes it." Preston laughed. Just like that, the distance between them felt as if they had been bridged. After a casual conversation, Preston left, feeling content. He was relieved when he saw that she was having a good time, even though she had not recovered her memories. As for when Nicole could recover them, everyone had decided to just go with the flow. And if she ended up never recovering any of them, that would be fine too, as everyone believed Nicole would still be Nicole. After Preston had left, Lulu poked her head in. "Nicole, is everything okay?" "Yep, everything's fine," Nicole smiled warmly, knowing that Lulu was concerned. "I thought so too. Although Preston is Rain's brother, he has treated you quite well during your school days," Lulu stuck her tongue out. She was worried for a moment because of everything that had happened recently involving Rain and the branch companies. Stock price fluctuations. Nicole chuckled. She could feel that Preston meant no harm, as he did help her and Nolan. "Well, if there's nothing wrong, I'll get back to work," Lulu said. "Go ahead." Lulu closed the door and left, leaving Nicole back in her office to get busy with her busy work. Soon, it was time to get off work. When Nicole came out of the company building, Jared was already there waiting for her. "Preston was here," Jared said candidly when he saw Nicole. "How did you know?" Nicole asked in surprise, wondering if Jared had arranged a spy to stay on her side. "I know Nolan got into trouble," Jared said with a hint of contempt in his words, but the expression on his face did not indicate any displeasure otherwise. Nicole figured that Jared had learned about the incident involving both Dillion's and Damien's company. With Jared's keen eye and intellect, it was expected that he had discovered what Nolan had done. And to add to that, Preston's action thereafter did not escape his notice either. "Yep. Preston has solved it already," Nicole briefly explained. Then, Jared held Nicole's hand and said in a soft tone, "Don't worry. It'll be fine." Jared would not let any one of them get her into trouble. Even if Preston did not manage to work things out, Jared would step in to take care of the fallout either way. After all had been stated, Nicole looked at Jared, the corner of her lips curving upwards. It seemed to her that everyone was not surprised about what Nolan had done. After they had both buckled up, Jared drove off and arrived at the kindergarten in short order. By that time, the teacher had already brought Nolan and Lana out. The family left the kindergarten after picking the kids up. "This is for you," Jared gave Nolan a document bag. Frowning in confusion, Nolan asked, "What's this?" "Just open it and see for yourself," Jared said calmly. Taken aback for a moment, Nolan opened the file bag. After he had seen what was inside, his eyes widened in surprise. "Is this really for me?" "Yep," Jared confirmed. As it turned out, Jared had given Nolan a set of identity information, which caused him to wrinkle his little face, feeling conflicted. Why did he give me my identity information? Did he find out what I did? Nolan wondered. "You can use this identity to register your own account. You may also wait till you turn into an adult to change it back to your real information, Jared explained. Though Jared did not mention anything remotely related to hacking, everyone understood what he was trying to say as soon as they heard it. Nolan was holding the document tightly in his hands, feeling ever more conflicted. He had longed to have his very own account. But for it to be gifted by Jared was something he found difficult to accept. Nolan sat there, torn between wanting to accept his gift or reject it. You don't like it? Jared looked at Nolan's look of indecisiveness as he raised his eyebrows. Of course he likes it. Lana tilted her head smugly, blowing the whistle on her brother without hesitation. He likes it very much. Cut the crap. Nolan glared at Lana in embarrassment, not wanting to admit he liked Jared's gift. Lana, however, did not back down from Nolan's glare. Well, if you don't like it, just give it back to Daddy. This prompted Nolan to throw the document back to Jared. I'll just return it. I don't like it anyway. However, it was evident that Nolan was lying, as his eyes were fixed on the document he had just thrown at Jared. Nicole shook her head in defeat, reaching out to grab the document file before handing it back to Nolan. This is for you, and for you only. No one else can use this. Got it? Didn't you always want to have your own account? But Nolan lowered his head, not wanting to accept the reality that Jared had gifted this to him, and that it would be difficult for him to face Jared in the future. If you don't like it, you can throw it away. I don't take back the things I've given out, Jared coldly said before looking away from Nolan. Jared was concerned that if he paid too much attention to Nolan, it would scare him away, making their relationship even more awkward. Nolan held the piece of document in his hands, hesitating for a while before stuffing it into his bag. Lana, who saw it, then snickered. Seeing this, Nicole gave her a warning look, telling her to not make fun of him. Then, Lana poked her tongue out mischievously. How can you not like what Daddy's given you? If it was me, I would want it. Here, take it. You don't even know how to use it, Nolan said, shooting Lana a dismayed look. What is wrong with her? She's becoming more and more of a nuisance, he thought. Lana thought that Nolan did not understand that she was mocking him, so she stuck her tongue out at him. It was then that Jared came in and scooped Lana up into his arms, before asking softly, "What do you want to have?" "I want ice cream." Lana smiled innocently, not wanting to know what her brother's interests were. Of course, ice cream is better than anything. Okay, let's go get some ice cream, Jared said. Soon, the car stopped. Max stepped out to buy ice creams for the two of them, one for each of the twins. As soon as the treat arrived, they instantly forgot about their quarrel from before and ate in silence. Suddenly, the interior of the car dimmed, and Nicole could not help but frown as she noticed that a set of drapes had been drawn over the windows and windshields. "It's Everett's car," Max said. Instantly, Nicole understood why Max had done so. If he finds out about the twins, this will raise his suspicions. "Thanks, Max," she said, feeling grateful for how thoughtful Max was. "Oh, it's nothing, Ms. Riddle," Max replied courteously. Soon, the shades were lifted, though the twins were so focused on devouring their ice cream that they had not noticed anything that had happened earlier. Nicole was concerned for both Nolan and Lana, as the both of them were rather smart for their age. The environment they were living in had forced them to be more mature than those of their age. Jared's heart sank as he saw the two of them and pulled Lana closer into his arms. Nolan and Lana. These two had gone through what most kids their age had not gone through. "Daddy." Lana suddenly looked up at Jared. "Yes." Jared responded softly. With a mischievous smile, she asked, "At Mommy and Daddy's wedding, can Nolan and I be the flower girl?" Jared was taken aback, as he did not expect Lana to bring this up so suddenly. Shocked by the sudden remark, Nicole tried to stop Lana at once. "Lana, that's enough with the nonsense." Though Nicole had recently begun to get along with Jared, things regarding the wedding were still too early for Nicole to consider for discussion. At this point, Jared and she had not officially confirmed the status of their relationship. "Sure." Jared agreed without hesitation. Then, Lana eagerly asked, "When will Mommy and Daddy have the wedding?" Jared shot a glance at Nicole and noticed she was already panicking. "Well, it's up to your mommy." Nicole was taken aback for a moment, and when she locked eyes with Jared, she noticed that he was indeed serious. This prompted her to bite her lips, as she did not know what to do. Is he really going to consider my opinion in its entirety? Nicole's mind raced. Are you not happy with that? Jared's eyes flashed with mischief. Or would you like to have it earlier? I won't have any problems with it. Quicker seems better, Lana said, seizing the opportunity to back Jared up. No. Nolan refused right off the bat, his ice cream no longer being the core of his attention as the topic of conversation had piqued his interest. Jared looked at Nicole and shrugged. It's all up to my wife. Of course, I'm eager to wed her, but right now, her memory has not been fully restored. There are still several things yet to be answered and solved. I must uncover the identities of those who had injured her before and find them. Even Nolan and Lana's identities are to be kept a secret right now. Wedding? I guess I'll just have to wait. Nicole's heart skipped a beat when she heard Jared calling her his wife. Then, she shyly looked away and said, "There's no wedding." Jared chuckled upon seeing how bashful and skittish she was. What are you laughing at? Nicole's cheeks turned bright red, feeling a little hot. Jared's grin became even wider as he watched her fiddle and shift around in her seat. This only made her stare out the window, to avoid eye contact with Jared while her heart was still racing. Soon after, the car came to a halt as they arrived at the Riddle residence. Nolan scrambled out of the car, unable to wait to get back into his room. Nicole knew that nothing could stop Nolan, so all she did was flash him a loving smile. What's up with him? Gloria asked, feeling a little concerned. It's nothing. He's probably feeling a little tired. That's all. Nicole casually found an excuse, not wanting her mom to get worried. Grandma. Lana cutely tottered over into Gloria's embrace. Gloria was immediately left smiling from ear to ear as she looked at Lana, who was in her arms. Just like that, her attention was immediately redirected. Jared and Nicole, on the other hand, were sitting on the couch, getting some rest before it was dinner time. Shortly after, Stanley, Spencer, and Samuel arrived home from work. Mom, Dad, the three of them greeted as they entered. Come, let's eat, Daniel said upon noting that everyone in the family had arrived home from work. Sure. Lana had already had her dinner at the kindergarten. Therefore, she quietly sat and watched TV in the living room alone without bothering anyone, including Nolan, who was in his room. As they sat down in the dining room, Daniel took at Nicole and said, "The issues concerning your uncles at the company seem to have been resolved." Yeah, Nicole replied. Though I still lost some. Well, it can't be helped, said Daniel indifferently, for there would be inevitable losses even if the issue had been resolved. Yeah, said Nicole coolly, as if she genuinely did not care about the affairs of the other two companies. Daniel felt much more relieved as he noticed that his daughter was showing no signs of distress. And so, he did not press on with further questions. Dad, let's dig in. Samuel said, not wanting to hear all the yapper about Dillian and Damien. Instead, he was quite content knowing that the two families could handle their affairs on their own. This meant that they would not be having the time to meddle with their family. Yeah, let's all dig in, Daniel said, urging everyone to start eating. Once dinner was over, everyone returned to their respective rooms. Nicole, meanwhile, went over to Nolan's room to see that he was still busy. She sat down next to him and said, "Whatever you did yesterday, don't do it again." "Who told them to bully my mommy?" said Nolan assertively. Nicole gently patted Nolan's head. "All right, Your Excellency. You obviously have your own way of thinking now. Even at the mall. You've turned to hacking as a way to vent your anger to get back at them." But Nolan glanced at Nicole hesitantly. "Don't worry about it, okay? No one is going to bully me. I have plans of my own." Nicole comforted him with a gentle smile. Nolan nodded in response. "Okay, Mommy." Alright, don't stay up too late now, Nicole said as she turned around to leave. Nolan stared at his screen. Now that I have my own account, I can accept missions whenever I like. I can rank up too. Nolan got excited as he thought about it, as it was his dream come true. However, Nolan had carefully considered not telling Lawrence about his new account. After all, he was unsure about how to break the news to his godfather regarding the fact that he had accepted this gift from Jared. Why do I feel like I'm betraying my godfather? At the same time, at Dylan's residence, Dylan had a grimace on his face as he looked over at Rain and James. Dad, I was too hasty. I asked Preston for help. Rain lowered her head as she spoke cautiously. Dad, it was fortunate that Preston came over to help us out. Otherwise, we would have suffered an even greater loss. James chimed in. Did you mention that it was a hacker attack? Dylan frowned. What did Preston even help with? Yeah. Preston said that there were no traces of us being hacked and that our system needed an upgrade. So, Preston helped us by upgrading it, and after that our stock prices began to stabilize. That saved us from a lot of losses, Rain continued. Dad, since the matter has been resolved, let's think about the next big thing. We had our losses, so we should find a way to make up for it. James added as he helped Rain to persuade Dylan, who continued frowning. Karen, feeling a little dismayed, spoke up. Our kids willingly joined you to help out at the company. Quit being such a pessimist. I just think everything that has happened this time is way too strange. Dylan's expression was sour and gloomy. He had asked someone to check things through, but it yielded no results. You know what's strange? We were not the only ones having this problem. Damien did too. Karen gritted her teeth bitterly. Both of our companies suddenly experienced the same problems. Both suffered significant losses. It would be odd if this doesn't piss anyone off. If it was a coordinated attack, however, Damien had also suffered the same. I guess we were both unlucky. Well, what do you know? Damien had the same problem as we did, but Dexter and Daniel had no problems at all. Don't you think this is suspicious? Dylan roared. Surprised and dismayed by his sudden reaction, Karen asked, Why are you shouting? Can't you speak properly? Karen was also worried about the company too, and the last thing she expected was to be yelled at by Dylan. Dad, do you have any ideas? Snow suddenly spoke up, asking Dylan in a low voice. No. It's just very strange to me, Dylan said, feeling drained and dispirited. If I could think of something, I wouldn't be this frustrated. Snow then frowned and said, Since the problem only affected us and Damien, whilst sparing both Dexter and Daniel, it does seem suspicious. Are you suggesting that they joined hands to mess with us? Karen raised her voice. This woman is so frustrating, Dylan thought. If you have nothing to do, you can go back to your room, Dylan coldly said to Karen. Am I wrong? Karen was fuming and was ready to yell at Dylan before Snow stepped up to stop her. Dad, I think what Mom said makes sense. Otherwise, it would be difficult to explain. Preston works at their company, right? Did he notice anything that was off? Rain frowned. Something feels very odd here. If there really was a problem at their company, Preston would surely be able to pick it off. Just because nobody noticed anything, that doesn't mean the problem doesn't exist. Snow's voice became even lower. Whether it was real or not, I will make sure it's linked to Nicole. When the time comes, I'll make sure Grandpa knows Nicole is deliberately targeting all the other branch companies. I'll see how he'll try to protect her, she thought. Rain remained silent, not quite getting what Snow was referring to. Even if there is, we don't have evidence. Dylan felt lost, his eyes becoming darker as he understood what Snow meant. The idea is good, but not having evidence is a pity indeed, Dylan thought. We can just look for the evidence. Snow's face lit up, knowing that her father had caught onto her idea. Look. Dylan repeated, though his words trailed off after the first syllable had been uttered. Glances were shared among the table, with Dylan becoming silent and seemingly lost in thought. After a long while, he got up and retired to his study, leaving those at the dining table with looks of confusion on their faces. "Mom, is Dad? What does he mean?" "Don't ask me. I know nothing," Karen seethed. Rain turned to look at James, only to see that James was staring at Snow, his eyes filled with longing. James had understood what Snow and Dylan had meant. He had also noticed, for the first time ever, how beautiful Snow was. "It seems that she's not naive." Snow shot James a cold look before turning around to go upstairs, having successfully achieved her goal. "My father believed me. Now, I can just wait for good news." The next day, the sun radiated brilliantly in the sky. Nicole made her customary arrival at the Riddle Corporation, with Lulu trailing behind her. "Nicole, you appear unwell," Lulu noted. "It's nothing," Nicole dismissed, shaking her head and anxiously biting her lip, feigning composure. Nicole knew that it would be embarrassing to tell Lulu that she did not rest well the night before due to the dream she was having, which was all about Jared. On top of that, it was a dream about their wedding. As Nicole reminisced about the dream's vivid details, she could feel her cheeks growing hot with embarrassment. Please like and share so others can see it too. Also hit the subscription button and notification bell so you can be notified on our next release. Thank you for your support. God bless you.